On today's episode, the Wizards fall to the Clippers in a late night competitive battle. Alex Sarr gets ejected, and CEO of Wizards Twitter, Ethan, joins the show, and we break it all down and more next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up? What's up? What's going on, Ethan? This is a late night show. First, want to appreciate you for coming out here because it is 1:16 a.m. Eastern Central Time, and want to say what's up to everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Wizards. I'm your host, Abdullah Ayubi, co-host of the Locked On Wizards channel, credentialed media member of the NBA, and host of the DMV Sports Zone page on Instagram. Thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Remember, Locked On Wizards is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube and Locked On Wizards, where the best way to help us grow is to comment anything below. And today's question is, what were your thoughts on today's performance against the LA Clippers? Ethan, let me shut up. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me on. I run the WizardsMuse page on Twitter and TikTok. Thank y'all for watching. It's just a crazy experience even being on here. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
No, of course, man. This is definitely going to not be the first time we're going to have you on more in the future. Ethan, the Wizards lose 105-119. I think I would say it was a good tank loss. Alex Sarr getting ejected. We'll get into that as well. But what was your initial thoughts off tonight's game?
Yeah, I would say a perfect tank loss. They made a comeback in the third. I was shocked, to be honest. We looked like we had no energy, or they looked like they had no energy in the first half. Keyshawn, amazing game, best game since he came back. Had 16 in the second half, I believe, was getting to the rim at will. And even though at some parts they did look really rough, just a lack of effort, I would say overall, great tank loss. You had some good performances by some young guys. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, I think Keyshawn tonight, and I don't know if you saw Ethan, he was on NBA TV and he was talking to Rudy Gay and some of their hosts, and he mentioned how he should be in the Rising Stars game and how his game is going to excel with playing alongside Trey Young. And Keyshawn's game, year two, Ethan, I know a lot of us talk about Alex Sarr and his emergence, but man, this is the kid that was the last pick of that 2024 draft class in the first round, and not many people knew about him. And coming out of Miami, he was just a guy that can maybe spot up from the corner, but his size, and he's only going to get bigger. His ability to play both ways is just amazing, and that's what Will Dawkins wants in DC, a guy that can play both sides of the ball. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. Chris Middleton, the OG, now that McCollum's gone, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. Marvin Bagley, 15 and 11. I got to ask you this, Ethan. Is there a possibility where Marvin Bagley gets traded before the deadline? Because I love Bags, but I think there's a contending team out there possibly that looks at that, the double-double tonight, and say, we could use that.
Yeah, I mean, you look last year, the Grizzlies traded for him when he was playing worse than he is right now. No disrespect to Bagley because he was solid last year. He's just been an amazing backup big. So you get a first round pick last year, turn that into Will Riley, get off Johnny Davis's, whatever he had going on. And you had a little bit of Marcus Smart for our team, which helped out. If you can do anything like that this year, which he's playing better than he was last year, he's been amazing on the offensive end, a pretty good processor for a big. I think you do it. If you can get a first round pick, I would trade. If not, I like Bagley, to be honest. I have no problems with keeping him for the future. So don't rush anything. Don't make sure you trade him because he is a very solid player that we can keep as a backup big next year.
Yeah, there's a possibility where maybe you flip him again and he comes back to DC. It's just so funny how
Yeah.
Will Dawkins loves playing with his emotions. But going on to other guys on this off this night, Tristan Vucevic tonight, 8 minutes, 10 points. I like some things I saw from him. Bub Carrington, 33 minutes, scoring wise, only had 4, had 5 rebounds and 7 assists. I really think Ethan, he has come along. I remember a lot of people, especially Wizards fans, were slandering this man's name, and I saw some crazy comments about him, but I just knew that he was going to figure it out and turn a corner. Trey Johnson tonight, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. And overall, if I'm looking at the numbers correctly, the team only had 11 turnovers, which honestly, Ethan, I thought it would be a problem when McCollum got traded because I figured that it's more young guys playing and the aggressiveness will lead to inefficiency and more turnovers. But tonight, that just wasn't the case. Will Riley, 12 points. I think, again, like you mentioned, it's a good tank loss because this is a Clippers team that started off the year really slow. They don't have their first round pick, so they don't have an incentive to lose of course, gave it to OKC during that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander trade, and they've definitely played better recently, and rightfully so. I mean, they have Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. When they're two really good players in today's league, and I just think tonight was just you just want to you want to see more of this competitive nature and not get blown out type of basketball. Because at one point the Clippers were leading by 24, but in the third quarter Washington outscored them 38-26, and in the fourth, I mean, it got real close. The Clippers were calling timeouts because the Wizards were going on runs, and Chris Middleton was trying his best to put this young squad on his back. I would say though, if they do move on from Marvin Bagley, the front court would be very very thin with Sarr and Vucevic, and I think that's full on tank mode. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, Vucevic, he had a solid offensive game, but it felt like the minute he stepped on the court, they were just walking into the paint, which was a problem earlier in the game too. I love Vucevic. I think he's a talented player, but the defense just isn't NBA level. And for a team that overall has been very weak defensively as a team unit this year, you can't have him as the big. So I am concerned about just the overall development of the team if Marvin Bagley does go. And if he does go, maybe you try and get a young big that's talented defensively in the trade to just back up Sarr instead of someone that's going to be such a defensive, liability to the team. I will say for Bub, not trying to be a downer or anything, it was a rough night for him. He shot pretty rough. The passing processing was good, and overall as a team, I think the processing for passing was pretty good. Trey had a couple really nice finds, and the team didn't have, you said, only 11 turnovers. A lot of those turnovers weren't from bad passes. They were just from maybe driving a bit inside and getting too excited for an advantage. But Bub, the passing is there, to be honest. He had only one turnover tonight. Just a pull-up shooting. The shots didn't fall. Whether they will fall or not probably determines on if he's a quality player in the future. And they have fallen for a significant amount of time in a stretch. So there isn't too much to worry about. He'll be all right, but just tonight wasn't his best night.
I was gonna ask you about your thoughts on Trey Johnson, and obviously tonight wasn't the greatest of nights, but just his overall performance of the season. I think he's gotten a lot better as we've moving on. I told people that it's an injury that he's been dealing with since he was at Texas, the hip injury, and give it some time. When he's out there at 100%, he is a guy that can wreck the league when moving forward. I think playing alongside Trey Young is going to excel his game. Just your overall thoughts on Trey.
I mean, if y'all saw any of my stuff, I was big on Trey coming out the draft. I had him third in my board, which maybe sounds a bit crazy now, but the dude is one of the best shooters I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a player, maybe 2020 Bertans, but a player where if he shot the ball, you think it's going in. Like you are scared for the other team. That's what I feel when Trey has the ball. He can pull up from 30 and he's shooting like 50% on the season. That's insane, especially for a rookie. And his playmaking isn't bad. No matter what he does offensively, the shooting is going to cover it because he's such a good shooter that it just opens up stuff for him. But the passing, like he's not a bad processor. It's speeding up rapidly. You can see in his game, the game is slowing down for him. And teams are so giddy to make sure he's double teamed sometimes that he just naturally finds advantages. He had a nice pick and roll where he had just a couple nice finds with Sarr last game. And you're seeing more of that game by game. Whether he only had 3 assists this game, the playmaking was still there. He was still creating opportunities for other guys. And this is someone that's going to develop. I mean, he's only 20. Like he's going to be an elite playmaker someday, whether it's not all on ball. He's going to be a star for us.
I was gonna ask you, Ethan, what do you think his mark should be at when it comes to shots a game? I say now that McCollum's gone, I want to see him at least take 14 to 15.
Oh yeah, right now I love 13, 14 a game. I mean, some games there's only going to be 10 because teams are so defensive of him. They're making sure he's not getting the ball. But I want him shot chucking. Like I wins don't matter as much this season. It's about the development. If he can take 17 shots a game, I'm not complaining. Like I don't care how bad the processing of the shots is. Like you can be just chucking it. I want the shots going up.
And it's gotten to the point where if he pulls up from half court, I just think it's gonna go in because of his
Oh
mechanics.
yeah.
I want to talk about another young guy, Ethan. Bilal Coulibaly tonight, 10 minutes, 3 points, 2 rebounds, went out with an injury. His season has just been a roller coaster, and this is a contract year coming up with this extension talk. And I love Bilal, Ethan, but and I know what he brings defensively, but if you can't stay on the court, it is cause for concern.
Yeah, I mean, this is like his fifth injury of his career if he does turn out to be bad. I don't think it's too bad of an injury. It didn't seem anything crazy, but we're not doctors, we don't know. I actually thought he had a good game, to be honest. He was playing pretty good defense on I'm pretty sure he was on Harden before. It was pretty solid. But yeah, I mean, if you can't stay healthy for 20 games, it's an issue no matter how good defensively you are. He's one of the best defenders in the league. It really doesn't matter if you can't stay healthy. And I think we are all are praying that he does. Like he's a very talented player, but it's just injury concerns.
Yep, 100%. When we come back, we're going to talk about Alex Sarr, the other French kid. He got ejected. I don't know why, or at least I don't think it was a valid reason. Next on Locked On Wizards.
I carry a lot of responsibility in my household. If something happened to me, there would be serious consequences. We have a mortgage, we got tuition, we got everyday bills. Those aren't going anywhere if something happens to me. And I know that's an overwhelming feeling, but I'm taking steps to protect my family by getting life insurance through Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast, easy, and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. There's no medical exam. You just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies are as low as $30 a month. And as of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 3,000 reviews. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos now by going to ethos.com/lockdownNBA. In as little as 10 minutes, you can get your free quote and up to $3 million in coverage at ethos.com/lockdownNBA. That's ethos.com/lockdownNBA. Ethos.com/lockdownNBA. Application times and rates may vary.
Welcome back to Locked On Wizards. I'm here on a bonus coverage episode with the great Ethan Weinstein, founder of the WizardsMuse page. Check it out, great content. Ethan, I wanted to talk about Alex Sarr tonight. His first career ejection, if I'm not mistaken. Got a second tech after bounce. I don't even know if was that a slam. Was that a violent slam? I mean, bounced the ball. I don't get it. I've seen guys, Ethan, do way worse and not get ejected. It just doesn't make any sense.
The first tech was week 2. I don't even know what he did to deserve it. Like I heard he was just talking. I'm not sure, but a second tech for slamming the ball. I mean, he really didn't even slam it. He just aggressively bounced it. Like it was insane.
And he somehow managed to also get 2 blocks. I think, Ethan, if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, he's still leading the NBA in blocks per game, right?
Yeah, Wemby doesn't qualify, so it's Sarr right now. Once Wemby does qualify, he'll be in the league. But I mean, it's Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, and Alex Sarr, Ethan, we'll talk about his development right now. Just your overall thoughts. I mean, a lot of people, I was defending the dude, Ethan. Last season, the stuff that people were saying, even after the Summer League performance that he had, I just thought if you give the kid some time, he's coming from overseas, adjusting to the NBA, and he hasn't even played with the pure point guard yet. So it's going to be exciting when Trae Young eventually comes back from injury and hits the floor. What are your thoughts on his progress in year 2?
I mean, it was obvious to see. I don't know why he ever got so much hate. The whole thing about him really being bad in his rookie year was he just wasn't strong enough, but he was a rookie coming out of France. Like the dude's not going to be too physical. We've seen a lot of unicorns be really just contact averse in his rookie year. And that was the whole point. I mean, still sometimes he does take some fadeaways that I don't think they're the best shots. They don't go in a lot of time. When they do, he has nice touch, so they can go in. But he's just been getting to the rim more, using his body more, and it was obvious to see. He's a 20-year-old center. Now he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. I never got the hate. Like he's a great player.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And do you think he makes an all-defensive team this season?
If I had to predict, probably not. I mean, when you look at our record, like 10 and 28, 10 and 29, but does he deserve to? Yeah, probably. He's been one of the best 10 defenders. When you look at some guys that are always there, Chet's had a down year. If you are to argue Chet's still better than Sarr on the defensive end, that's fine, but there's a conversation. Bam Adebayo just doesn't deserve to be there. So when you're looking at other bigs, Amen Thompson hasn't had the greatest year. So Sarr definitely at least has a conversation to be in there, but I doubt they'll give us much, national awards because of the record.
And also, we're just the Washington Wizards. We're the punching bag of the league, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
hopefully that's going to change soon. I saw a comment talking about where's the homie Ben. Forgot to mention Ben does have to wake up early because he's a producer for the Sports Junkies. So I'm here with my boy Ethan. Wanted to get him on. But Ben is in good spirits. He's getting his beauty sleep. I wanted to talk about the Wizards tank updates, Ethan. Right now, the Kings won. They beat the Knicks, and the Wizards right now are third in tankathon. Sacramento has one more win against Washington, and they are playing Sacramento next, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be a huge game. Where do you see, Ethan, this team finishing? Obviously bottom four, but do you think the goal is bottom four because you want to keep that draft pick? But how many wins? Because I put a short out asking this question earlier on our YouTube channel. How many wins do you want to see while making sure that you also finish bottom four of the barrel?
To be honest, I've seen enough. We went, I think it was 7-6 in a 13-game stretch. The team clearly has some potential. The young guys have developed, and the young guys are continuing to develop. Sarr and Keyshawn look like future All-Stars. Trey's had an amazing rookie year since he came back from injury. I don't see the rush to try and win a lot of games. We saw the development. I want to lose as much as possible. To be honest, the top five prospects have a clear talent gap from the rest, in my opinion. And of course, it's so early in the development cycle. Even I'm not an expert on a lot of the draft stuff right now. But if you can land one of those top five guys, any of them are franchise changing. Indy's picking up a lot more wins, just went on a 3-game win streak, and their team's starting to get more healthy. They should probably finish with 18 plus. The Nets looking at least kind of solid. MPJ is having a great year. Sacramento and New Orleans just picked up wins. So I mean, if you can finish with 15 wins, 16 wins, and the worst record, I'd be thrilled. I want top one odds, to be honest. I want a top five pick really bad. So if you can clinch that, lose out as much as possible.
I was gonna ask you because this upcoming draft class, a lot of talent. Do you have like a power rankings yet when it comes to the top five?
Okay, I'm completely uneducated, so don't take much of it. Take it with a grain of salt. But personally, I have Cam Boozer first. I think I'm one of the few in the fan base, but the dude just wins. And I think he does have the potential to be a top 10 guy, even though some people don't. Darren Peterson, I know the hamstring issue, but he's such a talented player. So pick between him and AJ. And then Caleb Wilson and Kingston Fleming's also top five guys. They're amazing.
Do you see the possibility of Darren Pearson not I don't want to say not happening, but less likely to happen due to the recent addition of Trae Young, or do you see there's a possibility where Washington could still end up with both?
I think they can end up with both. I mean, if you get Darren Peterson, is Trae Young a long-term piece? It's probably more unlikely. But at the same time, I think we're bringing him here to get his value up. So whether he turns out to be a long-term piece or not, we're not sure. But Darren Peterson is a prospect that if he ends up on your team, like if AJ and Cam go top two, you have to take him third, and you're still thrilled with it. He's an amazing player. Probably the best guard prospect in years.
Yeah, I think with Darren Peterson, I see a lot of Tyrese Maxey in this game. And Caleb Wilson, I mean, he's just so freaking athletic. Boozer is a double-double machine. And DeBonza, I think, is just an overall star. I do wonder, though, a front court with Sarr and Boozer, I think that would be great because we all talk about if you pair a guy like a guy that can rebound the ball alongside Alex Sarr defensively and offensively, it can be a real threat. But I mean, man, DeBonza could be that wing that can just dominate the game for you. And again, we're still trying to figure out what Bilal's future here is in Washington. The offensive game, it is year three. We still want to see more progress. We've seen glimpses, but it needs to be consistent. And it's just a lot of young guys on this roster. Is there any other prospects, Ethan, outside of like the top five that people are talking about that not many know?
To be honest, I think it's rough if you don't finish top five, which is why I think we should really hammer and get the worst record, get a top five pick.
But that's the thing, Ethan. I don't think even getting the worst record, we've seen it with the Pistons, ensures you getting a top five pick,
Well,
which
I
sucks.
think if you get the worst, you're guaranteed top five. But I mean, it's like a 50% chance to fall to fifth. So I mean, it's just insane. So I mean, there's a good chance you get Flemings, but at the same time, as that's a consolation prize, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm at the point where and this might be crazy, Ethan, but it needs to be top four. Like, it needs to be Peterson,
Yeah.
Wilson, DeBonza, or Boozer. Like, you need a cornerstone player because it's not fair at this point. Like, we're one ball away from Wemby, one ball away from Zion. Cooper, the Mavs get it, 1.8% chance. It's frustrating. Adam Silver needs to help out us Wizards fans because we've gone through so
Yeah.
many years of purgatory. And I really think, Ethan, this is probably my last question before we end the stream because it is really late. If you land a DeBonza, on top of year 3 of Keyshawn, Bub, Alex Sarr, and this young core that you have in here, maybe bring in another piece in the offseason, Trey Young. Let's say he's here playing a lot of games next year, extension talks, whatnot. Do you think this team is locked to make the play-in?
Locked to make the plan. I might be a bit more pessimistic. I'll say no, just because it is hard to take a single season jump that hard. I mean, you look at us right now, we are not a good team at all. But once Trey Young comes back, that'll change. But I think they could make the play. And if you get a top player, if you add someone else, I know Peyton Watson's been getting some traction among Wizards fans. That is a playing level team. It's just, are the young guys able to impact winning enough? And I think Sarr is. I think Keyshawn is. I think Bilal, if he can get somewhat of a shot, he is. That young prospect we get is. So, I mean, the future is bright. No matter what, it's the brightest it's been in years since the John Wall days. I'm happy about it. I love what we're doing right now. I got full faith in Will Dawkins. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think expectations though will be different next year, Ethan, because there isn't no cloud of a top 8 pick. Like you can't tank next year. You can't go through another year of losing. I know Ted Leonsis, the owner, understands that Alex Ovechkin for the Capitals is going to be retiring soon, and you don't want two rebuilding teams in the arena at the same time. It's frustrating. So next year, I say if you get that top 4 pick guy on top of a healthy Trey Young and the development of these a lot of these young guys, I need to see 30 plus wins, Ethan. Do you think
Oh
that's
yeah,
too
same.
much? Yeah,
I
I
think I
just
think it's easily possible. If you add a couple of vets, we're gonna have some crazy cap space. So
mhm.
add a couple other guys as well to beef up the bench. That's a good team. That's a 30-win team,
And
at
especially
least.
since we're playing in the Eastern Conference, I get Tatum will be
Yeah.
back, Halliburton will be back, but it's not like we're in the West. The East is not that competitive compared to the Western Conference, where it's
Oh,
just
you're
like,
gonna have some cupcakes.
no, honestly, and we'll just see year 4 of the rebuild, and I like you said, I believe what Will Dawkins is doing. The fact that he flipped Bradley Beal's horrendous contract in NBA history to Trey Young without giving up draft capital. Not many GMs in sports can do that type of work, and just it was amazing work. And I do wonder if there will be more trades to come. The trade deadline is looming in a couple weeks, but we'll just see. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Appreciate it again, Ethan. It is 1:38 a.m. We got 22 people in here. Shout out to you guys. I know you guys have to wake up early. Appreciate you. Ben could not make it, but he's probably going to watch and laugh that we actually stayed up, watched this game, and did this stream. Before we head on out, Ethan, can you tell them again where they can find you?
Yeah, WizardsMuse at WizardsMuse1 on Twitter, WizardsMuse on TikTok. Just started that. So thank y'all for the support there. It's already 500 followers, but yeah, thank y'all just so much for the support over the last couple years. Y'all genuinely changed my life. Like the amount of opportunities I've got from this is crazy. Even on this show to be with y'all, I'm thrilled to be here. Even though, yeah, like you said, 1:38 a.m.
Yeah, anything for our Wizards, man. Just wait till they start
Yeah.
winning. Hopefully, more people will stay up for these West Coast games. But I think that's about it. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every day. For your second listen, go find Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Josh Lloyd hosts the #1 fantasy basketball podcast, giving you daily tips and helping you win your league while making you a smarter NBA fan. Find Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Abdullah Ayubi. That's Ethan. Good night, Wizards fans. The tank continues.